Greetings friends and welcome to the Levitate Ability Guide. For you fans of Matilda out there, or really anyone who's a fan of levitation, telekinesis, all these things, this is the place for you. Okay, so first of all, we're going to get ourselves a puppet, a blank basic puppet. And this dude is going to be shway. This puppet is going to be our levitator. And then we're going to find an object for them to levitate, and we're going to make that just a block. Go into sculpt mode and put down a nice simple block. Make sure to go into your block and make it immovable. So now if we play, zoop, it's going to fall and it's going to feel the effects of gravity. So you can actually just put it over there. Alrighty, so in order to make our block levitatable, we're going to first create a levitation ability. Okay, and it's going to look like this. It'll be very simple. The one thing we need is a keyframe. So we're going to go animate, keyframe. And in this keyframe, we're just going to lift up our person's hand. Whoop. Okay, cool. So that they've got a nice levitation hand going out there. Fabulous. Then the next thing we're going to do is add in a tag. So we're going to go Gadgets, Sensors and Input. Then we're going to go to Tag. And this tag we're going to name Levitate. Or you can call this levitation point if you like. This is basically just going to be the position where the object moves to, the particular object that you're going to levitate. So it's important to stay within the levitation tag at the minute and just move this bauble to the position where you want your levitation ability to move the object. So you'll put it a little bit off the ground. Okay, sweet. Now we're going to attach this to a keypad press and we're just going to make it R1. Alrighty, and we'll connect that to the keyframe and the tag. Alrighty, so that's all there is to the ability in the basic sense. And now let us do a little something to the cube itself. So it's actually going to move to our levitation point. So we're going to go logic and processing, put down a microchip, surface snap it to our little block. Then inside we are going to add we're going to go into sensors and input and add a trigger zone. Now trigger zone is going to detect things to detect a tag. It's going to detect levitation. Okay, cool. Then we're going to change the size of its zone. You can make it pretty large. Alrighty, let's say 3.5 meters. You can make it a cube if you like. Really depends on you. Doesn't make too much of a difference depending on, it's really a preference. Okay, cool. Then we're going to put down, go into Movers and Output, and we're going to put down a follower. So it looks like this little ghost following a dude. Alrighty. We're going to say when the levitation tag is detected, it is going to power the follower. Now the follower is going to move at, let's say, 2 meters a second. The strength is going to be 100%, and the damping is going to be 99%. Now, it's also going to follow what tag? Levitation. Now, the strength and the dampening, or the overall damping rather, these things you must mess with as you see fit. At the moment, when you've got strength 100 and overall damping 99, that means the movement is going to be, the speed is going to be equal to 2 meters per second. If you make it 50%, it's going to be reduced. And the damping basically makes the movement of the object smoother. Because if the damping is very low, the object is going to jitter around and shake with the, because the strength is very high. So, at the moment, this is what it's going to look like. Let's go to play mode, press R1, and we have an object that levitates. Woohoo! If I move, of course, it's going to follow. But this brings me to my next addition. It is that when you use your ability, it might be a good idea to slow the turn speed of your character. So, we'll go into our keyframe, and we're going to go scope out, and then press L1 and square. I think we don't need to run when we're levitating something, so we can set run speed to 0 and maybe reduce our walk speed. So when you're levitating something, your character moves a little bit slower. This is all really just bells and whistles, friends. But it does make it a little bit easier to use. Okay, so now your turn speed is reduced and your move speed is reduced. So now, let's give it a try again. Now we have a levitation, and here we go. And we are levitating our object. Woohoo! Okay, sweet friends. That is levitation in the most basic sense. If that is all you need, then there you go. But I am going to be going over a few little extra things as we go on. So now, the next thing we're going to be doing is adding in a kind of targeting system. So, if we have a situation where we have 3 blocks, the way that our current logic will work is whenever any of these detect the levitation point, they are all going to move towards it. So I'm going to levitate now, and as you can see, all 3 of them are there, and they're also kind of struggling to get to that tag. And you can see it's a bit of a mess. They're kind of crushing into each other. Alrighty. So if we want to make it so that we only levitate one particular object at a time, that is very possible. And we're going to do that with the world's most basic targeting system. So we're going to go Gadgets, Logic and Processing, put down a selector. Now, each of the outputs is going to be connected to one of the power ports of these microchips. So when these power chips, or rather when these microchips are not powered, this is just going to be a regular block. It's going to have nothing happening. It's not going to be fancy at all. But if we have it powered, then it's going to be our levitatable block. Alrighty. But how are we going to cycle between these? How are we going to select? Well, what we're going to do is put down a controller sensor. You can delete all these extra wires because we don't need them right now. And we're going to go into the controller sensor, important properties, remote controllable. Then we're going to go to page 3. And we're going to see here that we've got our D-pad buttons. We're going to say when we press right, it's going to go to the next output. When it goes left, it's also going to go to the next output. So now, if we check this out, I'll do that. Alright, then I'll press right on the D-pad. Now I can control the next one. Press right on the D-pad again, and I can control the next one. If I press left, I go back, and left, I go back. Okay, sweet friends. But if we want to make our targeting system a little bit more intuitive, what we can do is make it so that we add a little keyframe. And on this keyframe, it is going to, you can make it so that it changes the color of your little block. If you change the color, you have to change the tint amount, of course, to max 200% if you want to change the color. Or if you want to keep it simple, you can just make it so that when your object is on, it is going to glow just like that. So when your particular object is being targeted, then it is going to glow. If you want to add some really cool bells and whistles, you can also add a little bit of a text displayer. So we'll go Gadgets, Movers and Output. Then we're going to go Text Displayer. Alrighty. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put down UI, okay, what we're going to put down over here is UI arrow no tail down. So just like this, UI arrow no tail down. So this is a very funky one. You remember to put it between angle brackets. And then we go doop, and we've got a nice little arrow. Okay, sweet. Now what we want to do is remove the text box. In other words, make it invisible, make the border invisible, make the shadow invisible. Then we're going to make it in scene. You can move this to the side to see where it is. And then we can adjust the position of it. If you like, you can change the color too. So you'll go to text properties. You can make it red or green or whatever you desire. You can change the size of it. You can give it a bit of a glow. All these sorts of things. You can change the opacity. You can really mess around with this to see whatever works for you. And there we are. So these things are going to be powered. We'll also turn on this keyframe. So that means when this microchip is powered, that keyframe is also going to be powered, as well as our little text displayer. So we can delete these ones, and we can just copy this. We can just put down 2 or 3 of these. And just remember, of course, that if you delete and you make some new ones, you must just reconnect the good old outputs. So A is going to go there, B is going to go here, C is going to go there. Alrighty, friends. So now here we are. We press right on the D-pad, and we can select our various different cubes. So there you are, friends. You came here for a Levitate video, and you left with a little bit of the old young targeting system. And let's see if we can, but if we want to stack these on top, as you can see, it's a little bit tricky. We can do it, but it's a little bit, it's not working the best. Because we want to actually be able to move our cubes once we've actually levitated them. And that, friends, is also possible. So what we're going to do for that is, we're going to, let's actually do ourselves a favor. Let us make a little microchip, make this a little bit neater so we know what is cracking. Alrighty, so we'll just move these two right into our microchip. And if we're really wanting to be neat, we can put down a little node, and our node will connect to R1 and the input. We can delete these wires, and the output of the node will connect to the keyframe and the tag. So now it works just as before. The only difference is it's a little bit neater. There's only one cable going in, and it looks a lot nicer than before. Alrighty. Now, the next thing that we can do, friends, is we can actually add in a little bit of an adjustment to the movement of the object that is being levitated. And doing that is actually fairly simple. It depends what way you want to do it. You can do it with pressing on the D-pad, but of course, because we've got arrows changing whichever one is targeted, maybe the D-pad isn't the best option. But you can also do it with, say, the right analog. It really all depends on you, friends. But let's say for now, all we want to do is move our particular cube up and down. And I think we'll do that with the D-pad just to keep it simple. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to create ourselves, we'll have our up and down over here. We're going to make ourselves a new keyframe. So we'll go animate, keyframe. And on this keyframe, we're going to scope into the tag levitation, and we're just going to move it up. And just moving that white bauble there, that actually will make it so that the tag's position is moved up when this particular keyframe is active. And it's really as simple as that. Then what we're going to do is, we're going to go up button is going to activate this keyframe, and we'll just have a bit of a slow power up and a slow power down. So 0.5 seconds. So that means when you press it, it's going to move up. If it's set to 0, it's just going to go chink, and it's going to instantly move there. Move up and down very quickly. So this just slows it down. If you want it to be even slower, you can just make it 1 second. It really depends on you. Alrighty, we can call this up. Alrighty. And then we can make another one, another keyframe. And as you guessed, this one will be down, and the way we'll do it is we'll get a levitation, and we'll move it down like that. You can stop recording. Alrighty, we shall rename this keyframe down. Fabulous. Remember to change the power up and the power down, and connect it to down on the D-pad. There we are. Connects to the power. Woohoo! Okay, sweet friends, let's have a look to see what happens. I'm selecting this guy. I can move it up with up on the D-pad. Move it down. Oh, down's not moving it that much at all, actually. So let's just have a look at down. It's not moving it that much down. Let's go like this. Alright, so if you find that it's not moving all the way down, you can just adjust it so it moves a little bit more, a little bit further down. It could be that our up keyframe was still active, so moving it down was actually more like moving it into its original position. So you just mess with that and see how it works for yourself there. Okay, cool. So we go up and we go down. We can go up and down with the use of the D-pad. Of course, we can go left and right by just moving the left analog. Alrighty. You can of course also make it so that you could make it that when you're levitating an object, you can't move, and instead the left analog changes the position of the particular object. But really that's up to you, friends. This is just a nice simple way of doing it. Okay, cool. And I think to test our levitation targeting system out, I'm going to see if I can make a stack of these objects. Oh, without destroying the thing. Okay. Let us go here. Alrighty. Let us move this. And now let us go like this. Okay, it's not the best control scheme, but it does work. Okay, cool. And there we are, friends. We have made a stack of cubes with our levitation object. Our levitation ability, sorry. Friends, that's all there is to it. We went over quite a few things in this video. I hope you found it useful. I found it a lot of fun, actually, more fun than I thought it would be. And yes, there was someone who requested a levitation video, so here you are. This is for you. And for anyone else who has been interested in making something like this, well then, I hope you found this useful. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of stuff, friends. And if you have any questions or any future videos you'd like me to do, then you just let me know and we can figure something out. Alrighty, friends. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I shall catch you on the flip-flop. Destroy, destroy, destroy. Peace out, friends.